So, what should you do if you've taken a psychedelic, let's say you took psilocybin and had a profound experience, a positive one, but a very deep one that kind of cracked you open and left you feeling kind of reborn and fresh and wide open and new, perhaps kind of vulnerable. And now you need to kind of support yourself and move forward with your life. How do you do that? That's what we're going to answer in today's video. This is very much a harm reduction video, very much a basics for anyone out there who may be experimenting with psilocybin or other psychedelics. This is to support you in knowing what to do if you find yourself in this kind of situation. Let's talk about it. Okay, so just to set the context here really quick, this comes from a Reddit post that I saw that I responded to and engaged with the OP around within the last week here. And I thought it was a good kind of standard basic beginner question, which is why I'm making this video about it. So this is really to support anyone out there who is new to psychedelics, experimenting with them, thinking about experimenting with them, or has found yourself in this kind of a place where you had this profound experience and you don't quite know what to do to support yourself. So before I go ahead and read the OP's post and my reply to it, I want to just clarify a couple things here. So from my perspective, and I am a little bit of a heterodox thinker in general, I'm not just conventional and following the conventions when it comes to psychedelic therapy. I'm actually thinking about it and, developing my own stance with every stage of the process here. From my perspective, I draw a very distinct line between integration and aftercare and support post-journey. Okay, I think this is really important to understand. So the reply I'm giving here is more about aftercare. So this is more about supporting yourself in terms of grounding, coming back in your body, feeling comfortable, knowing what to do to kind of support maybe some of the big, profound realizations or experiences you had in a way that leaves you feeling connected to yourself and to the experience. To me, personal opinion, integration is a bigger topic, something we'll be talking about more here on the channel. But really integration hinges around different layers of temporal integration time, right? So there's long arc integration. It's really a lifelong process. But integration is also, to me, about memory and memory reconsolidation and about rewiring the nervous system. And that's a different thing from support and aftercare in terms of helping you to feel comforted, grounded, connected after a big experience. Okay, so this, from my opinion, here is not an integration question so much as an aftercare question. If this OP was asking, how do I, internalize the things I've learned so that they become part of who I am, and I never ever let it go, and it's in me as part of my being, that's an integration question. So I just want to clarify that up front here. But with that being said, let me go ahead and read OP's post here. Then I'll share my reply here. And again, this is just general tools and things you can do that are really helpful in the aftercare phase. Also, side note, before I read this, this is for people who are stable enough afterwards. Okay, if you find yourself massively destabilized, you took a dose and you didn't expect to, but you tripped for 4 days, or you ended up in a hospital, or you got manic, or you had a psychotic episode, this may not apply to you, although I think this is generally good advice. So there may be something here for that situation as well. But this is really more for the person who just got blown wide open, but they're stable. They're doing okay. Okay. So important context here. Okay. So OP said, had a 2.5 gram trip recently. It cracked open something deep. Since then, I've deleted social media, reset my mindset, and started growing with the intention of self-healing, not escaping. It's helped me to let go of PTSD and mentality stressors from my time in service. This is a veteran here. If anyone, if anyone has any advice for long-term integration, journaling, ways to stay grounded after a profound experience, I'm all ears. I have nothing but respect and love for this space. So that was the OP's post. Very beautiful post, very simple, very basic ask. My reply here, integration is more than these things. And now you know why I would say that, because to me, there is something deeper that comes with integration. But if we're going to look at good practices to establish they're supportive after a profound psychedelic experience, here's my list. And this is by no means the full list. This is just what came to mind. Meditation. So I would say mindfulness meditation should be number one of the first things you do. It will support you in so many ways when it comes to working with these big experiences, and also just in daily life, working with big emotions, big experiences internally, and finding a bit more internal spaciousness inside of yourself to sit with whatever's happening inside of you. I can't imagine doing psychedelics or, frankly, healing trauma or having a successful therapeutic journey without meditation being a key skill locked down and sorted out. So if you're not meditating, that would be skill number one to pick up here. Number two, I would develop, personal recommendation, a spiritual practice if you feel inclined towards it. So if you're, anti-spiritual or uncomfortable with that, or an atheist, or something about that doesn't sit right for you, it's not a necessity. It's not a must, but I think it's wise. I think that to start to develop a spiritual practice starts to put us more in touch with that kind of brainwave state, that kind of emotional somatic state. It puts us in touch with something closer to what psychedelics show us. And I think that that helps to both normalize the experience that we had and also to give it context. So I would strongly recommend, if you're inclined to it, to pick up a spiritual practice. I'd also encourage people to read about psychology or spirituality, philosophy, science, history, or anything else you think, might complement your experience. Okay. So I would read, and in particular, I like fiction, I like fantasy. So cool if that's kind of your thing, but I would read something that gives you frameworks of understanding, whether it's understanding mind or psyche or spirit or cosmos, that helps you to have some way of connecting the dots with what you experienced to a tradition of understanding. Okay. Doesn't have to be spiritual, doesn't have to be Eastern, doesn't have to be Buddhist, as is so cliche in the psychedelic space. But I think we want to be connected to a tradition of understanding that gives a framework for what we just experienced. Personal opinion, I think this is a must. I don't think this is so much like an optional thing. I think if you're not giving yourself frameworks to understand what you just went through, that can end up leaving this huge, curious, destabilizing question about what the heck was that. So it will really help you to ground it out, to start to connect the dots to other wisdom traditions. I would also recommend that you go outside regularly, breathe fresh air, get sunlight on your body, touch grass, as they say, take long walks, go to a park. If you don't have a park you can go stand outside in your backyard, and let yourself just feel the fresh air and feel connection to nature. What I would not do is just, hide out inside behind screens, distracting yourself and just being chronically online. Get outside. It will absolutely help to ground you out and connect you. I would also, in line with that, and this is no small thing, go socialize with people. Find people to interact with, even if they're strangers, even if you're just checking out at the grocery store and you chat up the cashier, or you go to the coffee shop and you chat up the barista. Socialize with people who are safe, good people to socialize with. This is such an underrated thing for our nervous system's well-being. So I would go and I would socialize. You don't have to talk about your experience, but I would go socialize. Also, obvious things here to support yourself in general, exercise, diet, and sleep are the big three lowest hanging fruit, most obvious things you can do in terms of self-care and in terms of personal development work. A lot of times things that seem like mental health issues or emotional issues or whatever are just deficiencies in exercise, sleep, and diet. Make sure you have those right. If you don't have those right, frankly, don't even worry about all the other mental health stuff. Just get those right first, because that can fix a lot. And especially when it comes to post-psychedelic care, sleep's crucial. because you just have this huge neurological experience. Your brain needs to wire that in and integrate that. And that's literally when you integrate mostly. Diet's key, because if you're eating a junky, funky diet, it will knock your body out of tune and you'll lose that feeling faster. And exercise is also key. Exercise is just massive when it comes to strength, well-being, health. Sometimes after a big psychedelic experience, vigorous exercise can be overstimulating and be too much. So if you need to, ease into the exercise, take walks, go slow, be gentle on yourself. Don't go run a marathon right afterwards, but do exercise. Okay. Embodiment practices. This is another huge aftercare thing that a lot of people don't consider. Some people have these in their lives. A lot of people don't. What do I mean by embodiment practices, though? I mean things like going to the gym, lifting weights. I mean, go to yoga class. I mean, go to martial arts class. I mean, if you're like an outdoor sports enthusiast, you're a rock climber, you're a kayaker or something like that, get outside and use your body for whatever that sport is. Dance would be another one. If you're into dancing, if you like to move, go get out there and move and use your body. This is going to help support you with kind of grounding you back out, connecting you back to yourself, helping you remember your strength and your wholeness. Another thing here would be, this usually is not on these lists, right? But this to me is a huge one. This is a key one. Practicing loving. Yeah, that's what I said. Practicing loving. So some examples would be like a meditation practice where you do a compassion practice, or even just taking 5 minutes a day to sit and contemplate the people in your life that you love, what you love about life, what you feel good about, what you are grateful for, and just practice opening your heart and loving whatever, loving life, loving things you're interested in, loving people, loving your pets. If there are no people you love, it doesn't matter, but practice loving. This is a really key part of spiritual growth, of awakening, of healing, of therapeutic growth. It's really hard, for example, to heal if you can't bring a loving, compassionate presence to what you're going through. This is another key piece. So practicing loving. Another one here, developing your intuition. Again, this is one that doesn't get spoken about a lot, and some people turn their nose up at it because it sounds woo-woo, but human beings demonstrably have a capacity for intuition. This is not just delusion. This is not just projection. There is a intuitive, perceptive faculty that we have, a sensing ability to feel into and know things through a non-cognitive means. Whatever that is, and I've done other videos on this, it's tricky to get good at because it comes bottom up from the body to the mind through the same channel that imagination and projection and delusion and all the other kind of non-perceptive forms of creative thinking, shall we say, come as well. So there's a skill here of learning how to separate out intuition from, say, delusion or projection, but you want to get good at that, get good at sensing and listening to, because there's guidance there. There's information there. Often our bodies or our core self or unconscious mind, however you want to think of that, is directing us with very good information, but it comes through intuition. So you want to start to practice listening to that. That will be supportive and that will be connective to probably whatever you went through on your psychedelic experience. Last one I've got here is take the insights and the values. Okay, so insights would be aha moments, wow, epiphanies. Values would be things you discovered you care about or are important to you, that you learn from this experience, and then go take action on that. So this is a little bit of integration, this last step here. Go take action on your insights. And taking action might be speaking from a place you don't normally speak from in yourself, or sharing something with someone in a way that you normally wouldn't. Maybe it's as simple as paying a bridge toll for someone behind you if you live in a place where you drive over bridges. It could be all kinds of things, but take action on what it is that you saw and learned and experienced in some, doesn't have to be a big way, in some small way it starts to make it more real to you. So these are all things you can do to start to ground out the experience you had, ground yourself out, support yourself, feel your healthiest, feel your best. And, I would say if it was a really powerful experience that really rang your bell, don't undersell yourself on the power of just time as well. So I do think we need active aftercare and support, but also sometimes it just takes a while for your nervous system to come back to its normal kind of center of gravity and balanced state. So that'll be it for now. Let me know, how does this land for you? Do you have other things that you like to do in terms of aftercare? Is there anything you disagree with here? Is there anything you agree with here? Leave a comment down below. Let me know how this settles for you. And if you like this, we can do more aftercare stuff, but these are really the basics. This is the major aftercare stuff. We will do other videos about integration and all of that. I'm going to be kind of doing ongoing basics here about psychedelics, along with a more kind of interesting advanced stuff that I like to talk about as well. So see you guys in the next video. Take care for now.